guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, nice to meet you, good to see you. And if you're returning, good to see you again. I'm Megs, and today I'm going to be doing, it's going to be a little variation from my eyeshadow palette series. I have done jewel tones and grungy, and I've also done kind of basic bitch palettes. Now I'm going to kind of turn my eye to more brighter palettes and colors, also including some other eye products, not just palettes. This is one category of color that I don't really have a lot of, as well as, you know, not as comfortable. I'm going to be completely honest with that. With all that said, if you're interested in the video, keep watching and like and subscribe down below. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get to it. So I'm going to first start out with the eye products that aren't eyeshadows, because I do think this is a nice way to incorporate some bright colors into your makeup routine. This is just a subtle way. It can be very impactful. You can use alone or with, you know, more neutral colors or even bright colors in themselves. So I really like liners that are bright. So I have a few here that I thought were really, really cool. This is no longer available, but you'll get the gist of it when it's a Kajal. So it's a Kajal that MAC put out a couple of years ago. I love these. I wish they'd make them permanent. Another, I guess, thing that would be similar to it would be these from Shiseido. These are the Kajal InkArtists. I have this one in many colors. This is Sumi Sky 07. It's the same idea. It's a nice Kajal liner you can wear along the waterline as well as on the eye itself. So if you want to just incorporate it in an easy way, I suggest either just as a liner, or you can rim the waterline or use it as a graphic eye. I'll show you some pictures of some ways to incorporate color. So one of the ones I have is like using a blue or using an orange in a graphic kind of sense, or as I said, on the waterline just to kind of brighten up a look. And then I also really like, you can get these. These are the NYX Off Tropic Pro Liner. I don't know if they have these specifically any longer, but I know in the past they've had like vivid liners that were more of a liquid. These are more of a gel, I want to say. Are they a gel? Yeah, so they don't say specifically. They just say a liner. So yeah, these are great. They're kind of inconsistent in terms of which ones are really good. The green and the yellow I thought were pretty decent. But yeah, so, and those are fairly inexpensive. I think LA Girl also has liners that are of that nature. Is it LA Girl or LA Colors? I can't remember. But generally you can find them in different lines. Some of my palettes are going to be limited edition. I apologize for that, but at least you can kind of get where I'm going in terms of what I deem as bright. This one is the Vida palette from Melt. I think this is a beautiful, 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 especially juxtaposition to the Muerte, which is more jewel tone smoke, like, I wouldn't even say smoky, but definitely jewel tone dark and more like mysterious and kind of, you know, that kind of vein, versus this one is bright sunshine and joy. So, you know, you have your bright kind of pinky red here, you've got your yellows and your greens, and then with kind of a neutral grounding to it. You can do that in terms, if you want to just incorporate one kind of single color to the lid, you can use the bright color and then ground it with a neutral, or if you don't really give two shits, then you can put it all over bright color and almost like a sunset rainbow kind of look, which is just as gorgeous as well. This one is by Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place is a wonderful way to incorporate color if you're looking for really good prices, really good quality, and you don't want to invest too much. This is the Zulu palette. Zulu is a beautiful, bright rainbow. Fantastic. Majority are mattes. You've got this beautiful green, this kind of more goldenrod yellow. What happened to that one? You got this gorgeous pink, and this bright purple, which is gorgeous too. So things like that, these are beautiful. I enjoy Juvia's Place and Juvia's quality very, very much. So that's always a fun little palette to have. I feel like if you have that one kind of palette, like the Zulu palette from Juvia's, you don't really need much more. If you're looking for just having a palette, like a go-to bright palette, to be honest, which is I think another reason why I don't have that many. Another one that came to mind when I was thinking of this video is this one. Now I know this is no longer available, so I do apologize, but this is the Electric palette by Urban Decay. This was when Urban Decay had really great palettes. I know there's maybe, again, inconsistency there as well, but these are phenomenal. Now these are considered pressed pigments as opposed to eyeshadows, but it's because they leave a stain behind more so than anything else. So you've got this bright, beautiful blue here, again, purple, greens, yellows. Now, maybe some people be like, oh, that's more like a neon palette than a bright, but these are what I constitute as and deem brights for me. So this whole palette in general is a beautiful, beautiful bright palette. So if you have colors that are similar to that, look through your stash, look through your single eyeshadows. You might just surprise yourself. Okay, so then I wanted to look at some newer ones that I purchased. I was looking at this one from Wear Beauty. Now, you might say, okay, Megan, this is actually more muted, but I do find that this particular palette has somewhat brightness to it, especially when I'm looking at these two colors down here. This kind of limey, olivey green color and this blue definitely bring me to a tropical, bright kind of feeling overall of this particular palette. It's not necessarily dead on for a bright palette, but it's kind of a nice baby step into that world if you're kind of hesitant to go there. Other bright palettes that I was thinking of are more monochromatic. Now, this definitely, again, not every shadow in this particular palette is bright, but it does have more leanings to it. There are some shadows in here. Now, I do find, obviously, like this one and this one wouldn't be considered, but this blue in particular is a little bit brighter than most. These are more on the pastel sides, but I find like these kinds of blues, especially how they show up on the eye. The red definitely has some brightness to it again. You've got these two kind of colors here that are a little bit punchier. Next one is pistachio. I would say like this one here is definitely brighter. This one here, this one's more, again, more pastel. And then you have your dark shades over here. So maybe not the whole palette is bright, but there's definitely brightness to it. Again, baby steps if you're looking to kind of dip your toe. This next one is also by Juvia's Place. This is the Wahala 2. It does a nice mixture. You got your darker colors down here, but then you have this orange and pink, and some of these greens and blues have a brightness to them that kind of can punch up a look if you're looking to kind of add maybe, like I said, a single shade, a liner, or even, you know, even these pressed glitters have a brightness to them. I do want to talk about some singles that I own. I will say Sugar Pill was a really great company to get some brightness in your collection. These are all singles, so that's why they're not, to me, I don't really classify it as a palette, but purples, like these greens, these yellows and reds, like really, really beautiful. It reminds me very much of the Zulu palette that I already own, but I purchased this prior to the Zulu. This little palette too from Kaleidos has some brightness to it. The orange in it, the turquoise perhaps, and this turquoise here definitely have a bright kind of factor. I also wanted to include this shade from Lethal. This is almost like a acid type green. Again, some might classify this as more of a neon, but this to me is a Vertex, and this to me is a beautiful way to kind of incorporate, again, a little brightness maybe in the inner corner or as a liner or as all over, however you want to work it in. I stand behind you. I have this beautiful blue. This one is from Sydney Grace. This is called A Boy Crazy. It's this one right here, right here. I know that doesn't look bright on the camera, but that's what it swatches out as. It has almost like a pinky purple shimmer in it that gives it that bright blue. Anyway, I hope you've found some, you know, new ways and have learned something a little bit new, especially about bright colors, and hopefully you can incorporate them into your makeup routine and just challenge yourself a little bit. I know I will, now that I'm getting kind of inspired by these colors. I've kind of brought them out of my own stash and coming reacquainted with them. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care and stay safe out there. Bye.